I want you to catch these few notes. If you flip over from the side of the paper that told you what the songs were, there's a place to write. Grab your pen, you can put these down. The first thing I want you to see as we go through these scriptures in a moment is that Christian leaders lead by following Jesus. If we're going to go anywhere as Christian leaders, we're going to lead by following Jesus. Now, some of you have gone, whew, this sermon is not for me because I'm not a Christian leader. And I would have to say, yes, you are, because somebody's watching you. They're watching you in your home. They're watching you at the workplace. They're watching you in the school system. They're watching you in your neighborhood. They're watching you as friends. They're watching you when you go to Walmart. If you lick the ice cream, ooh, they're watching. Right? They're watching. And so people are watching. And so you as a Christian, even if you're the most shy person and you think of yourself as the most behind the scenes person, reality is that you're a leader for someone. And you're going to be either a good leader or a poor one. And on some days, I'm both several times. That's why we believe in the importance of grace, in the mercy of God. That He saves us and then He keeps us and then He brings us through life by His grace, helping us through the shortcomings and the failings and making us more and more like Himself. And so as He does this work, even when I fail, if I handle my failure correctly by repenting of my sin to God, confessing it to Him, He cleanses me from all unrighteousness. And I deal with whoever I've hurt or offended, and I don't apologize. You ever got the definition of apologize? That is to make a defense. I don't need to make a defense of my sin. What do I need to do? Ask for. And we hate to say that word. Would you please? Would you? I just need for you to... I can't say it. Forgive me. Because if I say forgive me, that means that I've done something I need to be forgiven for. All right? And so we reserve that one for God. Oh, God, forgive me. But then when we've blasted someone, we've hurt someone's feelings, we've done something that was a slight to them, and we realized, and then if we're going to lead, we have to follow Jesus, and that means that we would do the right thing and follow through asking for forgiveness. So Christian leaders, they lead by following Jesus. What would Jesus do? The next is gospel-centered leaders always recognize that they are not ultimately leading the change. So whatever is going to happen that Jesus does in this church, it's not per se the pastor, the staff, or the deacons and the Sunday school teachers. We're supposed to all be looking to Jesus. We're all supposed to be looking to the author and finisher of our faith, who this is His church, and we are supposed to be getting the mind of Christ, the leading of the Spirit. We're not doing that. We're not following Jesus at all. And so these are crucial things even in your home. How you lead your home, how you relate to your spouse, your children, all that sort of thing. That should flow from knowing that the change that you need in your home is not change that you're going to be able to generate. It's something that you depend on Christ to do. Well, the next thing is that we are vice regents. Now, I know the word vice always kind of looks like a bad word to us, but what that means is that we're like associates at Walmart, but we're vice, we're together. But regents, we reign. Vice regents acting in authority under the authority of our one true King. So Jesus is in charge, but we, according to the Scripture, rule and reign with Him. You say, no, in heaven someday. The Scripture says we're sitting at His right hand when? Now. And so this is not a reason to be cocky. This is not a reason to be haughty. This is not a prideful thing. This is a responsibility that I have to lead as a prince, as a princess to the king. And as I walk with him in that way, what people should see is not me. They should see the attributes of the king. I should reflect those things as a leader. Now, you understand these students went to lead camp. We're talking about this for them, but we're talking about this for ourselves because we're all in this role. Notice then it goes on to say, we understand that in the work of God, there is no essential human instrument. Let's stop right there for a second. How many of us does God need? None of us. He needs none of us. He needs no people at all. He needs no universe at all. He needs no planet Earth at all. He doesn't need anything. He is self-sustaining, holy God in need of nothing. So what he is doing is he is blessing you, blessing me to be able to know him and to experience him and to walk with him in the truth of his revealed word. So the only one that has been an essential part of what God's plan has been Jesus Christ, the God. 100% God, 100% man. How does that work? I don't know. Go to West Orange and tell them if you can find out how somebody can give 112% effort. Right? I see those stickers all over town. 112%. I don't know how that works. But he's 100% man, 100% God. He was the one essential human instrument in the redemptive process of God. And you and I need to remember that. We're not going to keep ourselves saved. We're not going to get ourselves saved. We're not going to empower ourselves to do ministry. We are vessels. Imagine this. I need to deliver some water to there. So I put it in a bowl here, and I take it over there. You're a bowl. And God puts water in you, and he sends you over there so that you can pour out the water that is needed in that situation and circumstance. He's going to carry it. So all you are and all I am, we're vessels to hold what he is to bring to other people. And as we do that in leadership situations, we then understand that the natural pipeline for leadership is first learning to be led by Christ ourselves. Not about me. It's all about him. But then, when I learn to be led, I learn to be a good follower, a disciple. Remember, the disciples are not going to be greater than the master, Jesus says, but they'll grow up to be like the master. Then the next thing in the pipeline for leadership is then to learn to lead others. That's what, men, we're supposed to be doing in the home if we have families. Is learning first to follow Jesus, and then to, when we're following him, then learn how to lead our families. We don't get this by our own coming up with our own plan and our own stuff. It's how it happens in here. This is the crucial thing that God would have us do. But then you go beyond that, from leading others, then leading other leaders. You know, I see this in the Southern Baptist Convention, and you may think of it in other places, but I see guys who are in churches growing up just like our lead camp people. And God begins to give them opportunities to serve. And the next thing you know, they're in some kind of leadership role. Maybe they're leading worship or they're doing something of that sort. The next thing you know, as they begin to lead others, you see them begin to work with other leaders. So that here in the office, I work with Mark, he's a leader, and senior pastor, I'm supposed to be a leader. And we work with different people with deacons, Sunday school teachers and directors, and now we have leaders in various areas leading with other leaders. That moves on, then this person goes and he works maybe in the state convention, maybe he gets called to do something on the executive committee of the Southern Baptist Convention. And now you begin to see this person who started off as a student in some church somewhere in a role where he is not only leading leaders, but he is finally learning to lead with other leaders. Now, this is easily applied in the church as well, but let's look at some scripture together, starting with, in the Gospels, Matthew 4:19. Now, this is just a small piece of a verse. Y'all are going to be so freaked out by this sermon today because it's concise instead of expansive, okay? So, hang on to it. Jesus is speaking to the men that he's calling to be his disciples. And he says, "Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men." Notice who started the men fishing in the first place. It was Jesus. It's his redemptive work. It's his redemptive process. He is the leader in this. Now, as you are born again, become a child of God, Jesus is going to say to you also from Matthew 4:19 that you're to follow him, and then he is going to do something essential. Notice in the passage there in Matthew, he says, "Follow me and I will make you." I will make you. You see, so now we're following him, and we're not trying to become something on our own, but as we follow him, he starts making changes. He starts making us fishers of men. What is the process? Well, from the fall in Genesis to the end of the picture that we see in the book of Revelation, God has been trying to redeem a people for himself. And he chose in this particular instance to describe it as fishing. Fishing. Why? Because the people he was addressing with this concept understood fishing. You know, we put out those nets. Do we know what we're going to catch when we put out those nets? No, we don't. We put out those nets and then we pull them into the boat. And there's all kinds of stuff that comes into the boat. And there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to come into the boat that we may not want. We may throw them back in, that sort of thing, but we understand fishing. Well, Jesus says, I'm going to teach you how to reach out with the gospel of my plan of salvation. Although all have sinned, although they deserve death and eternity and separated from God in hell, that's not my desire. I'm redeeming people. I'm saving people. And so let's draw in the net and bring people in. Now, having then made them fishers of men, you look at Mark 6, verse 9, and you have one of the circumstances where Jesus then has walked with his disciples for a period of time, and he's getting ready to send them out. Now, you know, it's interesting. I said verse 9, and I'm so sorry. It should be Mark 6, 7. The paper's kind of crooked today. He summoned the 12 and began sending them out in pairs. How many people should probably go out visiting, at least when you go out visiting? It's a good idea to take two, right? That's what Jesus did. That way, maybe you're a little safer. Maybe when you can't think of what to say, somebody else can. Maybe that's how God does it best. And so he sends them out in pairs, and he gave them authority. Now notice, did they have authority within themselves to be leaders, to do what they were about to do? Did they have it just within themselves? The answer is no. I don't have the authority to stand here and do this. Mark doesn't have the authority to lead worship. We don't have it. It is something that God gives us because of who he is, and he can remove that authority, but it's in some other role or place. But he puts these men out there, and he says, here's the job. You're going to go out, and I'm going to give you some indicators to the public that there's something different about your message. Not about them. They don't matter. They're vessel. They take water from there to there. Now, they matter to God, but they're not the significant thing in the process. the significant thing in the process is that now they're going to go out, and as they share the message of Christ, they're going to have power over demons. Wow. Okay? He instructed them that they should take nothing for their journey except a mere staff. No bread, no bag, no money in their belt. The passage goes on to talk about not but to wear sandals. He said, don't have 2 tunics. Whenever you enter a house, stay there until you leave town. All of these things are what? They're instructions. So do I decide what I want to do in ministry as a leader? Is this for me to decide? If I don't have the authority to do it aside from Jesus himself, certainly I don't have the right to choose what I'm going to do as a leader. He gave very specific instructions, even of what to wear and not to wear, what to carry and not to carry. And so as I start each day, I probably need to check in for orders, right? As a person who's going to follow Jesus, I need to check in for orders. And so he says, in any place that does not receive you or listen to you, as you go out from there, shake the dust off of the soles of your feet for a testimony against them. That's interesting thing. You know, we understand in this, as we look at this passage, that God did not call a bunch of people who were already qualified to do this job. These guys were fishing. They were tax collectors. They weren't the CEO of some big company. They were just average people like you and me. And when God called them out and put them in a leadership role, it wasn't because they already had that. He chose to qualify them because he called them. And so when God calls you to be a husband in the household, when God calls you to bring up children, nurture and admonition of the Lord, when God